Hello everyone, my name is Muir and we've got something new for you today. However, before we get into the video, I'd like to take a moment to tell you that nearly 70% of people who watch our videos are not subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you could do me a huge favor by liking the video, commenting below, subscribing to the channel, and ringing that bell. It really helps out the channel and lets me know that you're liking what I'm making. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the video. It's gonna be some time. But that one will be around 8 months. If it stays as is. This one, around 8 months. Again, around 9 months probably, and then this one, probably like 9 months as well. So we are getting there. Profitability is on the way. We just need to see how we can turn our profits. Support say wants people, but we don't necessarily want to rub we don't necessarily want to just rub pennies together and hope for the best. Now, we want to go to Olanadu in the hopes that we can find some antimatter blasters here that we can use. Okay, nothing there. Again, you know, the flow of this game. We know exactly what we want, we just can't get it. Because we can't produce it ourselves yet, and there's no way for us to know where exactly it would just be. So, over here we have this extra operating time and lower malfunction chances. Over here we have rate of fire from missiles and extra damage for missiles. So, depending on what exactly you want to do, this can be amazing. This applies to all combat phase ships. And what else do we have? Okay, so this would be nice. So let's go with that. Neither of these can be made elite. We've pretty much done all we can there. So let's go over here to Kani and hope that we can make some extra money. Now they are leaving us alone. That's good. Smart decision for them. And still nothing that we're after specifically. So, let's look at what we can do. What bounties are there? He's Brasil. And then we have some specific bounties for people. There's that pirate base in Duzak. We might be able to do something about that, but I'm not too sure. Depends on how strong it is. What we can try to do is we can go over here to this shade. This Shade. We can switch its A and B's over to this one. Put ourselves on that. Maybe we can take down that base with this. I'm not entirely sure if we can or not, but we can try. Let's see. The nice part about the non-pirate versions is they really do have a lot more options in terms of what they can do. Yeah. But anyway, that should be sufficient with a phase anchor. And let's go ahead and get going then. Now the Shade does have a lot more options, but the Afflictor can really make the most of those antimatter blasters. Now, if we can go over to Duzak, we might be able to do something over there. And murder some people. We don't know though. We don't know. We'll have to find out. If we can win the fight, then it's easy money. If we can't win the fight, then it's not easy money. We can, however... Okay, the pirate base is probably right there. Now, if we can trade with that pirate base, then that would be fantastic. So, what do they have here? Nothing that I'm after, specifically. What can I buy from them? Fuel? We'll take it. What about supplies? We can take those for below cost, actually. What does it produce? There's a military base, that's nice. Has an orbital station, low tech. They're expensive, they're cheap. So let's hire those guys. That's relatively cheap as well, so we'll take that. And let's see. It has 2 hangar units, which would actually not be that bad. However, we do have a problem in that if we want to defeat those guys, we will need to draw them away. And hope that we can lure them away and attack them. Let's move to engage. And let's go kill some people. Now, we have a lot of interesting ships here. Let's just send them in and do our best, I guess. Now, as we can see, the Afflictor seems to do pretty well. Assuming it's actually able to sort of do its thing. It doesn't have the same defensive abilities that the Shade has, but we can sort of use it akin to how we flew ships in a previous patch. Assuming, of course, we don't get too far out there. The nice part about the phase anchor, though, is that we can go in and fire more often. Which can result in us just being more dangerous overall. However, it also results in us being very slow and not necessarily being able to do a lot in some situations. So it's easier for a phase ship to get in over its head. They're both down, huh? Alright. Wait for them to come back. Now we can wait for the phase anchor to take that down. Then we can just fire. So the phase anchor is how you get rid of your self-flux effectively. And then the venting is how you get rid of everything else. So, yeah, it can be very strong still, but it definitely has some major drawbacks as well. So we have this wolf down here. We're just going to go kill him. Very nice. Oh, very nice. And who's left? We have those 2 guys over there. Well, we can rush over there, and what we're going to do is whenever we start getting, maybe 20%, we're going to come out, vent, and then go back in. Come out of P-space, then go back in. Around 25% or so. Because that is when it's about as long as it would take to vent all our flux. And, well, it's been nice, friend, but you're dead now. Farewell. Let's vent that flux, that soft flux, and then let's vent the hard flux. Don't let them escape. We want them to die. Not to get away and tell their friends about all the horrible things that happened here. So in this, it's about 25% or so. I mean, 75% or so. That's when we want to come out and vent. For optimal speed, at least. Very bad choice to do that. You can basically wait for that, and he's dead. Let's go ahead and lit our soft flux. You can think about phasing. If you have a phase anchor, you can think about phasing as you can think about phasing as venting, I suppose. Alright, so we got that. We might as well scavenge a little bit. Now we want this other ship to come over here. Oh good, he's just by himself. Well then. Let's make sure he dies horribly. So we're going to send in ourselves again, we're going to send in some other ships. And do what we can. Alright, so we are re-armed and ready to go fight more. Now, this guy can be a bit of a pain, but we don't have any carriers right now. So he's not that bad. We can, however, overwhelm him fairly quickly. We can get around his weapons. Let our flux vent, our soft flux vent. And down he goes. And you only have salamanders, so you're kind of not dangerous in any capacity. It's when a ship is relegated to being pure support that they tend to struggle. Alright, well, he got utterly annihilated. Let's go make sure we kill the rest of these guys. The main ship in their fleet was going to be that... whatever it was. Okay, that's probably everything. Yeah, that's all of them. So let's claim victory. Ship recovery, do we want that? We can just barely use it. So we'll take it. And now we want to come over here and launch a raid. So what can we do? Can we gather commodities? Can we disrupt things? We had the Marines from this place, so we might as well just put them all against that and hope for the best. Alternatively, we can put them here, but that's less money. What about here? Not as much. Do it. No, we don't need them to. It's fine. Now, what we want to do is we want to raid this thing as much as possible. As often as possible, as we have Marines. It looks like they've generated some new friends. So let's go deal with them. This guy seems to be dancing around inside inside the Corona, lowering his combat readiness. Now, how about you? You have all the defenders there. This guy seems to be rotating that way, so let's go ahead and jump in. Let's move to engage. Let's kill him and his friends. And if we had a commission, that would be fantastic. We'd be making a nice chunk of change every single battle. And we missed. It's okay. We didn't miss that time. Now you're anti-shield and you're just a missile boat, so we'll take care of you first. Then, because you're not going to do much damage to our shield, to our armor, we'll take care of you. Then make our way up to you, Mr. Salamanders. Now, you have a problem. In that you can't really do much against it. So, there is another one still. Let's vent our soft flux, let's vent our hard flux. And then let's go and kill this guy. So really with phase ships and phase anchors, you have to think about phasing as venting your soft flux, and then venting as venting your hard flux. Go ahead and kill him, gents. And well, there goes that. Get it. Kill it. Nice. So we can claim victory. Ship recovery? No, we won't take it. We will just salvage it. As we pick through the wreckage. Now, what if our ships are repaired? Everything good to go? For the most parts. Now, let's see. Alright, we can raid them again. Fantastic. So it wouldn't be as much, but we can still get a decent chunk of supplies out of it. So how's the colony doing? 3. Now this, I think, it does less well based on shortages and maybe low stability as well. We have recent unrest. But let's see. Military options. Can we engage it? We have a lot of stuff that's currently trying to repair. So let's let everything repair first. And then we'll raid it. Then later, we'll throw everything at it and kill it. As this other fleet that's over there desperately tries to avoid us. This also means we can raid them again. So, I like that. Now, I am going to want to put weapons on you, despite it not being good. We don't really have anything, so we won't do that. How is the fleet coming along? Decently, I suppose. Alright, so, options. We can launch another raid. They don't have any supplies for us to raid from them. Which one gives us the biggest number? There we go. Oh, nice. Now, let's actually attack them. So, we're going to throw everything we've got except for this at them. Sure, why not? They're just more warm bodies. And this fleet is probably not going to do particularly well against the station itself, but the station lacks the hard point, which essentially means they're kind of dead in the water, because we can just shoot through this little gap here. We can blast this little piece here. We can shoot it off. I believe once we've done enough damage, that will break. Okay, nice missiles. And we don't want to get hit by those bombs. So let's get out of here, at least, for a little bit. Let's vent our flux, let's go back and let's break that just a little bit more. As these piranhas try to do something to us. We're going to want them to all full assaults, so they can help us take care of some of these hangar units. And I'm hoping we can destroy this piece. There. The question is, does that even break anymore? So does that have a max hit points? Can I break it? Because I don't know. What I do know is that they're doing a decent job here, and that I can always just help them. And they can drop the bombs right on top of you, by the way. So, alright, excellent. Let's make sure this thing dies. Nice, that's one down. Now for that one, let's make sure that we amp damage it so that they can do more damage. And let's just try to pump out as much damage as we can into it in as short amount of time as possible. And down it goes very soon. As soon as you get out of the way. Excellent. Alright. So we took them down. That works. Ship recovery? Not important. Alright. Very nice. And so that gave us some faction with the Persian League. And a decent amount of salvage. Alright, very nice. Let's go ahead and transverse jump out of here. After having killed that base. Made a little bit of money. Now we have a lot of stuff that we would potentially like to get rid of. I know that I can go over to Chizamozdock and get supplies there for dirt cheap, or at least I think I can. And we got a decent chunk of change out of that. I don't know if it'll be enough to pay all our expenses. I doubt they will be. I doubt it will be. And, there we go. So does that automatically turn off hazard pay? No. Doesn't seem to do anything aside from make people leave, make people quit. So in theory, I suppose we could sit somewhere and just take advantage of the fact that we can. We're going to need to get rid of those, yeah. Take advantage of the fact that we can effectively gain relatively cheap. Yeah, we can't pay anything right now. Relatively cheap. What was I going to say? Well, we can basically get free hazard pay if we don't. If we can't pay for it, we can always just leave it on, and that will get what we need. So Kani, they need supplies desperately. They're over in Kumari Kingdom, so let's go over there. Drop these off for Kani. So it's going to cost us most of our fuel to get there. So that can be a problem for us. So we will have to buy some fuel from probably Olinardu or something like that in order to get out of Kumari Kingdom. Alright, we ran out of fuel just as soon as we got here. Now that's fine, you can use that to sort of skip your way over to other places, other systems for cheap, so that is an option that you can do. And now, Connie, I have a question. How much do you like buying stuff for? Let's see. How much would this scuttle for? 10 supplies. 10 supplies is already 1,000. Yeah. 10 supplies is already 1,000. Fuel, 10 fuel would be 200 and 2 heavy machinery. Makes this worth more as a scuttle. 992, probably about a sell. On the black market, it's worth more. Let's see. This one's heavily jacked up. So we get 1,100. We'll get more selling it. Have they modified these prices to where selling them is almost always worth more than scuttling? Because if they modified them to be better for that, then that's good. 16... So that one's 600... 16,600... Yeah, it'll be worth more. It'll be worth more to scuttle. Oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening. I see. So if we strip this one, and then we go to sell it, it sells for far less. Yeah. So scuttling is almost always going to be more profitable. The gremlin still seems to be okay. There's a kite. Don't really want that. Basically, if you have any demods on them, you're better off just scuttling them. Okay, so we've gotten rid of a bunch of those. And that's given us a lot of supplies. We do, however, want to get rid of these. And we can sell off a bunch of these to generate some money. So we can pay our bills again. And we got some fuel out of that as well. We have 2 of these, which we will take and put on the shade over here. Did we make a pattern? No. So we can put those there. We will make a custom for that. Weapon groups, we're going to put them together. We're going to have them alternating. So we're just going to update that. So that one can work just fine. For you, Mr. Cerberus, we're just going to give you whatever we've got. And what about offices? Never. Now we're just going to need more fuel and more supplies. So Asher has supplies for cheap. We can sell those to Karis for a nice amount, and Nachiteka has fuel for cheap. What we'll most likely do is let's go to fuel range. We're going to need to go to Asher instead, where we will just see what we can get our hands on. So we did the pirate bounty, which was great, and yeah, I mean, they're out there. We can take on those pirate bases. That isn't really a problem. We want to avoid taking unnecessary damage at the moment, because that could be very expensive to us. And let's head over to Asher and go make some money. Let's keep that transponder on, actually. No one's over here, so let's turn it off and go trade with these religious fanatics. Expensive, kind of expensive. Let's see. Where will we be taking this stuff? Umbra. Umbra really wants drugs. I mean, really wants drugs. We can use something like a buffalo right now. We could also use drone tenders that would let us get some extra salvage after fights. They also have some extra storage, but not much. They're not really intended for combat. But we have some of that. Do they have any fuel we can buy? No. Well, we can head over to Umbra. We can sell these. We can sell some of these. Both are for about twice their normal going price, so it's not too big a deal. But fuel, and yeah, we'll just need more fuel. So if we transverse jump out of here, we can make our way over to, say, I don't know if any of our places actually have fuel right now. Doesn't look like it. Everybody has lots of recreational drugs, though, which is fantastic. And he has some fuel, but not much. So we all have drugs that we can use, which means we can go and satisfy needs very quickly. Let's head over to Gilead. Let's not head over to Gilead. Let's head over to Magic. We're going to get some fuel from Nova Maxiols. Then we're going to sell drugs to pretty much everyone who wants them for a price we like. Specifically Umbra. Umbra wants 2,000 drugs. About. As such, we are willing to do that. Willing to trade with them. We just need the storage to actually get the 2,000 drugs over to them. So we're going to want to buy their fuel. And then we're going to want to buy some ships from them. Specifically, we want to go to the black market because it's cheaper and see what we can get from them there. So that has 100 cargo capacity. The Buffalo has 300. It's compromised storage, which is unfortunate. And the Colossus is highly compromised storage. So, knowing that we don't have much storage, knowing that we do occasionally get in scrapes, let's go ahead and keep looking. Let's go to the Cantos there. See if we can sneak in there and potentially make some scratch that way. If we can, that works. If we can find ourselves a buffalo, that would be fantastic. Ground defenses are finished over there. That's good. So we have buffalo here. It's jacked as well, and none of them here that are actual storage. The Vincia has some storage, but not much. We just want to get all that we need to be able to go to our home and then make a lot of money. Now, Tritechon doesn't hate us, which is fantastic. Let's repair some ships. And what do you have, ship-wise, that you're willing to part with? There's some good stuff. None of which I'm looking for at the moment. So let's go back to Nova Maxios and grab that buffalo from them. So they are over there in the middle. We're going to want to go and dive in on them so we can spend as little time as possible in the asteroid field. Okay, so we'll just take it and we'll make the best of it. And we will just take it and make the best of it. So we have decent storage, but we can push these a little further. So if we say we want expanded cargo holds, that can work. Do we have the converted hangar? We do. We can then do something like talons. That should be fine. To give it minimal fighting ability. Now, how fast does this go? Yeah, about as fast as some of our ships. So, we will refit this as custom, you as custom, And then this one, basically the same thing. We're going to go with a expanded cargo holds. If we go with militarized subsystem, we can get them a little faster. So this one is 6. That'll take it up to 8. If we do this, we can take them up to 9, which will be good enough for us. So we will want the converted hangar as well, and just throw something cheap in there. Okay, this sounds good. It's not amazing, but it does the job. Now, how much storage do we have? First up, how much crew do we need? We need some extra crew. So we're going to have to buy some... We don't need extra crew. We can, however, buy extra supplies from these guys that we might be able to sell as well. Just take all the supplies that we can. Sounds good. And make our way over to Penelope's star. So we're going to go to drugs first. Let's transverse jump out, make our way to drugs first, and then go pick up loads and loads. No. Go pick up loads and loads of stuff. So when we dock with our people, some people might leave. They didn't. That's good. Let's leave all but, say, 100 or so supplies. So does Umbra still want these? Yes. They have a deficit of... No. Not really. That's fine. Connie still wants supplies, and we have lots of those. So what we can do is we want to go to Primus. We want to go to drugs first. And at drugs first, we can leave some of these ships. And then proceed to leave some of these ships and proceed to just do what we can out in this sector. So we don't necessarily need these. They're just burning fuel at this point. Let's go down to just a single ship so we can just look at our crew and see what we can do from there. So we're going to want that ship, and these two guys, we can modify them to remain relatively stealthy. We can't really modify this one to be sneaky. And phase ships struggle if they don't have a proper commander, so that can be somewhat problematic for us. So we have all of this. We have all the fuel we can. And we're going to need around 400 or so, well, as many people as we can carry. Which is barely over what... just barely over what will work. So Umbra still wants drugs, Connie wants supplies, which we can satisfy for now. Umbra is a close competitor, but we don't have that many supplies to sell. What about organics? We're having organics delivered to us, but that doesn't sell particularly well. Syndria wants these for about twice the price, which is nice. We can use... they want a decent amount of those, actually. So if we were to take, say, this and these buffaloes, we could get away with, instead of our supplies, which are far more valuable to us, we can instead take, say, about 100 supplies and the rest in that. So we pay about 97,000, but we get around 190,000 back by satisfying the Syndrian Dictat's needs. that can work for us. We can pick up more fuel while we're at Syndria. Assuming the trade deal doesn't fall through. So how are things going over here? He is still working at growing. We don't have any money, so it doesn't really matter. And let's make our way over to Syndria. As long as we aren't being attacked, we're pretty much just fine. It seems as though our colonies are probably hiring mercenaries to protect them. Now over in Hizbarsil, we have some mercenary jobs that we could do. We go and collect a bunch of bounties. Let's turn that transponder on so they don't give us any grief. And let's go trade with the dictat. Alright, we lost some crew, who cares? Let's go sell that. As long as we have the crew, which we don't have enough of. So we'll hire some more crew. Just enough. And see what we can do from here. So, we've made some money. They have a local deficit of that. If we were to get to Nachateka, we could potentially get fuel for cheap. Can we get to Nachateka? No. Okay, so instead of that, let's just max out our fuel. It's still at around cost. And what does everyone need? So Kani is getting to where they are desperate for supplies. So we will want to buy as many supplies from here as we can. Still a decent price. And considering that we are going to nearly double our money, it's not that big of a problem. Alright, let's just try to get some more. Every little bit helps. So we're going to go over to Kani, drop as much of this on them as we can, then make our way over to Penelope Star, grab the rest of our supplies, and make our way over to... there. Yes, you can scan us. Alright, then after we get there, we'll be able to hopefully make a bunch of money. So we'll hit Kani, sell them supplies, return to Penelope Star, get more of our supplies, drop off more supplies at Kani, and then proceed to head to Hizbarsil to murder some pirates. Excellent. So, we want to sell as much as we can. We're going to keep around 50 or so for ourselves. Then, we might as well max out on crew. And what else can we get here? Nothing else seems all that important at the moment. Let's leave and make our way over to Penelope Star. We can go to drugs first. And then get more supplies. Head over to Kani. Head over to Hizbarsil. After potentially trading. Alright, we're back up to 20 story points, so that's nice. And when we get commerce going on any of our colonies, we'll definitely want to see what we can do. We might consider going and improving them all right now anyway. So we have Drugs R Us there. Oh, that's good. We're going to want more supplies. We left ourselves with 50. We're going to want to go up to quite a bit more since we will be doing a bit more fighting. We also want to leave these behind. So, we're going to need to drop off some fuel and some crew. And then we can just max out on supplies. We should probably leave at least some of this here. Now, crew, we aren't going to get more crew from salvaging the enemy, but let's go and look at this. So if you make improvements, what does that do here? Increases stability. That's nice. We will get to where we're fairly hyper stable near the end, and we can't take these out. So if you make improvements here, increases accessibility, which is almost always good. What about here? Making improvements. Increases production by 1 unit. That could be worth it. What about here? Increases ground defenses, and this increases the number of medium patrols launched. So, we have to look at this from the perspective of there's 5 of these. And I'm curious as to what impact story points will have on fuel and heavy industry. But we have everything we need right now. Our ships are essentially useful. Let's see. Freelance Administrator, what do you do? She has no special talents. Sounds good. Well, we know that you have that, and the others don't have anything special either. She's very expensive compared to them. So we could cut our overhead by getting rid of her, but it would be better for her to be on drugs first when we move over to installing either fuel or heavy machinery. Probably fuel. But until then, let's just see what we can do. Which of these seems to be producing more? They all seem to be producing about the same. Okay, so this one is suffering a slight issue. So we're going to go over there. This one's fine, this one's fine. So we put ourselves there. We can then come over to one of these colonies that currently has problems. Or a colony that's the youngest, and we can put him on there. So we've sort of tried to maneuver things around to maximize production. Only time will tell if that's actually a good thing for us. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and make our way over to xvector. That'll give us a chance to kill more pirates and farm more reputation. Alright, so let's go jack up some bloody pirates. Transverse jump out of here and then jump on in. Oh my. Well, on the bright side, we're back in the black. So, that works for me. Now, we didn't bring any heavy machinery, so, yeah, we aren't going to be doing much salvaging. But, on the bright side, we will be able to farm some faction. So, that should be fun. Go do that voodoo that we do. After each fight, we will need to repair our ships, probably. So, well, we'll definitely need to repair them. So, we will see where things go from there. And the bounty in xvector is still going. That's good. Let's make sure we turn that on. And let's go. Oh! Yeah, the mercantile convoy. That works. I'm going to have them join the melee and see what we can do. Alright, here we are. Remember, once we get to about 25% top, well, 75% top speed, we want to vent, because that's about as long as it takes to get to where we can cloak again. Maybe it's 8, maybe it needs to get down to 70% to be optimal. We've got these guys going after that kite. And that works for us. Goodbye. Oh no. We did so well. Well, thank you. He did such a great job. Let's go after this enemy drone tender, shall we? We can just let ourselves get ready. That works. Convince our flux. And see what nonsense we can get up to. Alright, very nice. Let's go after this enemy carrier. Alright, let's entropy amplify him. And then just use phase anchor to build a fire more often, more quickly. That works. Who's left? There's a single kite up there, who's currently running for his life. Don't let him leave. I want to kill him. So let's go ahead and take him down, shall we? Nice. Who's left? No one? Sounds good. Let's claim victory. We can join in the pursuit, have our second in command handle it with 2 Cerberuses, and ship recovery. We'll take them. And we received 9,000 money. Not too bad, not the best, not the worst. But I guess we can go over here, try to scavenge something. We don't want that. We won't be able to do much, but at least we'll be able to do something. And therein lies the important bits. We can drop these off. We will be able to get lots of fuel from going after these people. So it's not really a big problem there. Okay, he's dead. We'll likely find more enemies over near Kethvin. We just want to do this to get a little bit of money and a little bit of reputation. It'd be faster to do missions, I think, when it comes to making money. Because fighting people is dangerous. And this guy will probably wreck us. Let's move to engage, and let's throw everything we've got at him. Now, with the afflictors and the phase ships, these are all glass cannons. So make no mistake about that. They are all glass cannons, phase ships. And if they are not able to... If they are cornered, then they will die, no problem. If they're unable to use their phase stuff, they will die, no problem. Alright, that works. Took down that enemy mule. And dodged those salamanders without major problems. Alright, so we're just going around assassinating the enemy. E. Let's go and keep killing this drone tender. Because anything that has lots of fighters is a problem for me. And I don't want them to be a problem for me. Alright, we're out of his range. Let's go ahead and fence our flux. And then go finish this guy out. Very nice. Let's vent our soft flux. Vent our hard flux. Let's go and dodge his attacks. And we are ready for a special. So let's overwhelm him. Why don't we? Oh, those are some nice missiles you got there. Too bad they're not going to do much. And too bad you're dead. Got it. Who's left? Yeah, there are some ships left, but the harpoons there have ran out of fuel, so where are we? Over here? It seems as though they are harassing our drover. Oh well, it's just a drover. Let's keep going. We're gonna head down here, we're gonna kill those guys. We're going to eradicate that eradicator. And we're just going to overwhelm their shields with our burst damage. Because the AI would rather take damage than overload. Wise of them, I guess. But he has a flame out now. And there isn't a whole lot he can do. Let's go convince our flux and go kill that guy. Alright, who's left? No. Hopes for me. Let's go ahead and claim victory. Let's pursue them with Veticus. Ship recovery. We can take that. We won't take that. Instead, we will proceed to only take what we can. Guess we're going to be jettisoning some stuff as we wait to repair. And we might as well go and see what we can do here, and not much. As our ships slowly get back to being ready. So we've earned a decent chunk of change here. We are just burning off supplies as we repair our ships. Then we're going to go pick up a bunch of our stuff again. Ship recovery. Let's go grab a little bit more here. Sounds good. Alright, let's head over to Kethlin. See what we can do over there. See what pirates we can hunt down. What enemies we can slaughter. And we just want to sell everything here. On the black market, not the white market. So we're up to a decent chunk of change. What other ships can we get here? Let's see. On the black markets. Oh yeah, we strip everything. He has a bunch of demods, so most likely this ship would not sell for nearly as much. So scuttles for 20, so we have 750. Then fuel every 4, so we have an extra 500 or so. So we have 2,000. Then an extra 5,000 brings us to about the same price there. Let's scuttle that one. Scuttle this one. This actually could be useful to us. It doesn't have anything that's going to stop it from really fulfilling its job. So let's go to auxiliary fuel tanks. And then insulated fuel engine assembly. Get its sensor profile down.